everyone. Places, places.
The Dark Cut.
Hello, listeners, viewers, fans of The Dark Hours and The Cut Up, and The Dark Cut, resurrected.
Once again.
I'm The Cutter.
And I am Gray from The Dark Hours. How's everybody doing out there?
Good.
Well, they're responding at home right now.
Right. They're all like, we're good, Gray.
So, it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
But we are back together with, and what better
And it
way?
feels so good.
Yes, it does. It feels so, it hurts so good. And this one did hurt. What better way to get back together than the return of John Carpenter?
Right, I was just going to say, we're getting back on track here. He came back.
Yeah, he came back.
Not back on
sure.
track. But today, we're covering The Ward, which is John Carpenter's return to full-length horror, anyway.
Yeah.
Recently, he did that Masters of Horror release, right? What was the name of that?
That was Pro-Life, was the sequel, and the first one, the first Masters of Horror, was Cigarette Burns. So a lot of people, he proved he could still do it, but did he do it well this time? Well, we'll find out. But first, what have you been watching, Cutter? You've been doing some more non-horror stuff.
Yeah,
huh?
I've been doing... the Cut Up went non-horror a little while ago, and I just recently watched The Town and The Fighter. And I'd like to do something for those, but I'm almost wondering if it's even necessary, considering those were Oscar-worthy movies, you know? Everybody already knows about them. What's the point, right?
Yeah, but not everybody can do it like the Cutter can do it.
See, I can't say that. What about you?
Well, I've been watching a lot of Neil Marshall. Actually, I caught Neil Marshall's newest movie, Centurion.
Now, Neil Marshall is known for...
He is known for The Descent and Dog Soldiers and Doomsday. So he's been on a roll, and I think he continues it with this latest non-horror movie, really. And
He's got a death curse.
Oh, there's Crazy Ralph letting us know it's time to talk about The Ward.
All right.
So, Gray, I'm going to let you start this off here.
Okay, so The Ward. Everybody heard that John Carpenter was getting back into horror. He was making his first full-length horror film in a very long time. It was pure horror, and it had some pretty good, at least one or two good stars attached to it. The beautiful Amber Heard, who you will know from All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, which nobody's been able to see, I guess. And
not legally.
Yeah, well, geez, I think Britain's had it for a while, but
okay.
More popularly, Drive Angry, and Daniel Panabaker from the Friday the 13th remake and remakes aplenty, also the remake of The Crazies.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot of expectations riding high. Well, I guess we should summarize it first. Go ahead, that's your area.
Okay, so yeah, the Ward is about this girl. I honestly have forgotten her name already.
If they told it, I don't even remember.
Kristen? Okay. Oof.
Yeah.
Almost lost it there.
That's an indicator of the movie, isn't it?
So Kristen, basically, we're greeted at the beginning of the movie with her burning down a house. Then she's arrested, taken to a psych ward, and the rest of the movie plays out where her and a group of girls are basically trying to figure out what the hell is going on in the psych ward as people start turning up dead with this mysterious zombie woman, zombie ghost woman, I guess, really, showing up and just killing people sporadically.
So, we talked about it a little bit, but what did you think?
To sum it up, give it a punchline, it is the Lifetime horror movie.
Yeah, this is pretty much, this is pretty damn tame.
Yeah.
For the master of horror, whose last couple outings that we've seen, specifically, of course, Masters of Horror, were about as hardcore as you can get. This was amazingly tame. I think it all is can be summed up in a all-female shower scene. In the asylum, we see a bunch of girls having showers, yet there's no nudity.
None.
And it's capped by the lamest jump scare that was in the movie.
They do that a lot in this movie. A lot of jump scares with the hand.
Yes.
The hand of the zombie ghost lady.
And I've heard it said that this movie was well directed. You can tell it was John Carpenter, except he just didn't have much to work with. I kind of agree with that, but really the jump scares are cheap, and they're really punctuated by the soundtrack, which is cheap.
Right. And we had talked about it before the movie, and one of John Carpenter's trademarks for horror is being somewhat subtle, not showing a lot of gore. And I guess that's kind of what his goal was with this. But at least in Halloween, 40 years ago, he showed boobs. Yeah. There were some boobies there. PJ Souls, right? Boobs.
Even if you compare this to like another ghost film of his, like The Fog, which was his third film or something. The Fog. It was awful. It just was tame. It was all the tropes we've seen have been done already. Right. It was just uninspired. And then let's not ruin it, but what did you think of the ending?
That's what I think.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
It left us with a bad taste in our mouths, to say the least. We were just kind of like, really? Yeah. That's how it's gonna. Come on, it's so cliche to end it like that.
I mean, the very end capper of the movie, I hated, and even before that, the resolution of all the plot threads was awful. I mean, it just was. As
the movie plays on, you have Kristen, who's trying to figure out what exactly is going on in the psych ward, and you get absolutely no story development on why she's there. You find out toward the end why exactly she's there. They're like, oh, you were in a farmhouse and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, is that true? And you don't know what's true until the very last 5 minutes of the movie. And then at that point, you're not even sure if it's true.
To be honest with you, I just didn't care about anybody. We had these girls getting knocked off one by one.
Right.
I couldn't care less. The most likable character in the group, of course, is the first one to go. And the rest, I didn't really care. I mean, they were supposed to be these plucky females with like these head case issues, but I just didn't really care. They weren't set up very well.
No, they weren't.
Scene was very awkward.
And all their character devices, like, they just ended up changing at certain points. Like, they had the one girl who was crazy and she was supposed to be the antagonist for everybody to kind of piss everybody off. Then halfway through, she just turns into like the super nice girl. Like, why? She's crazy. Like, I thought that was her thing. She's crazy. She's supposed to be like that to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like they're in a psych world. It feels like they're playing a game of high school.
And let's talk about that. What do you think about the casting of these young women?
I couldn't believe any of them because all of them were completely hot.
I mean, has there ever been a collection of like more hot women in a psych ward? I mean,
well, in the future there will be because every hot woman is hot, and then they'll realize this. They'll start committing them.
Yes.
But really though, in this movie, like all the girls except for one were like amazing eye candy.
Yeah, and I love it how they don't give Amber Heard any clothes for the first week.
Right.
It's a reward.
Here's your clothes.
We'll let you have your makeup, but the clothes come about a week later.
That's right.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was awful.
I like to see the ass flap move when you walk.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about the ward.
There isn't.
What do you think this means? It didn't get a wide release for whatever reason. Why don't you think it got a wide release?
Boy. I mean, judging from how it looked.
They're here.
Oh.
Well, okay, so we're going to wrap up here.
This is our 2-minute warning here.
Like we're going on. This is a good way to wrap it up. Why did this not get a wide release?
Why? Well, after watching it for an hour and a half, it's pretty telling. I mean, it's kind of boring. It didn't look like they had any features of the movie to really push in a trailer, to be honest. Like, I can almost imagine the trailer for it, which I haven't seen, being shown on Lifetime Network as saying, like, this Friday night, watch the tale of a girl who was raped, but then comes back to find out things about her life that may or may not be true. Like, it seems like that kind of thing. And as you watch the movie, there's not much gore. There's no nudity. There's really not much going on, but just mindless horror for teenage girls, in my opinion.
So the question is, which is worse? This movie, which isn't really offensive, it isn't great, it's just total middle of the road, or a movie, people may disagree with me, but for example, my bottom of the barrel would probably be Ghosts of Mars. I think that was probably
That's pretty bad,
point.
As far as John Carpenter goes, yeah.
So is that worse, or is this worse?
Yeah, is it mediocrity or is it Ice Cube?
Yeah, I don't know. Point is, I think he can. Well, he could get worse from here on. I guess
he could definitely get worse, but I'd like to see him get better. He did those cigarette burns, which was really, really good.
Yeah,
but then he jumped onto season 2 of Masters of Horror and did the other one. What was the name of it again?
It's called Pro-Life.
Pro-Life, and that was just not great.
Yeah, I guess that's the reason I'm questioning is I don't know what his aims were. For
Yeah,
this.
I mean, is he now just directing to direct, or is he...
That's really what it feels like in this. Because he's got a good cast, but it's all done by an indie film studio, and it wasn't a good movie.
No, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Mediocrity.
Hey, I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul! I'll swallow your soul!
Swallow this.
And there you have it, guys. The new format of the Dark Cut. Maybe you could tell us what you think. You
Yeah.
can always contact me at twitter.com/thecutup and at thecutup.net.
And you can contact me at thedarkhours@mail.com. So please let us know what you think, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.